I'm just going to go. Great to see you all again. As ever, you can find the recordings of these slots on alexryanuk.com. I've got lots to get through today, so prepare your minds for a sprint. Recently, we talked about how to stop your posts flopping on LinkedIn. And I've also turned that into a podcast if you're keen for a refresh. One of the questions that came off the back of that was, surely you can just pay to beat the algorithm. And there's a yes and a no on that front. On your personal LinkedIn page, no, you cannot boost posts. The algorithm decides if your personal page posts succeed or not. However, there is a way of paying to beat the algorithm, to throw those floodgates open, and we do that via a business page. So I'm just going to open this up because I know in the room it's a slightly smaller screen. On your business page, make sure you're in admin view and then scroll down to the post that you want to boost. Here's one of my lovely customers, Lawton & Door Properties, and you can see the boost button in the top right there. Click that boost button, and here is the boost page. On here, you can identify an audience based on all manner of things like industry, interests, job titles, and you can exclude people based on the same. You can then set your budget and timescale for your boost. That is what most people do. And that's why most people waste their money on LinkedIn, and why people will tell you that LinkedIn advertising is a struggle or doesn't work. What you need to do from here is actually turn your post into an advert. And in order to do that, you need to click the campaign manager button in that little green circle. The first time you do it, there's a small amount of setup, and then you're going to get to a page like this. I'll zoom into that page in more detail shortly, but you're now in LinkedIn Campaign Manager. So this is beyond boosting. It's a page very similar to the previous one that we just saw. You can select your audience and that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go into that today because doing a demographic setup, age, sex, location, it's all really easy. So instead, I'm going to run you through some really cool things that you can do on this page to reach a good audience. First up, right at the top of this, there's these two options, saved audiences and LinkedIn audiences. Saved audiences, once you've spent all the time making an audience that looks perfect, and it can take some time, save it to dig it out for future campaigns. And then next to that is LinkedIn audiences. They've done the hard work for you if you're lucky. If you happen to want to reach one of the 26 audiences that LinkedIn have deigned to pre-create, then you're onto a winner. You can see a few of them there. With one of my clients in wellness, I regularly advertise to the corporate HR professionals audience. So that's a really, really useful one there. And you can edit them after you've loaded those audiences. Next up, just a quick look at this. This is location. Really simple, but you can be super specific with this, targeting right down to a single village with your locations. 3 cool ways that I've used locations. Number one, helping to recruit a salesperson for an estate agent in a location where there were very few other estate agents. So a recruitment campaign. We've placed adverts for English lessons in the 5 most educated cities in Russia. And then one which I think a lot of people in the room will be able to do if you're doing exhibitions or trade shows with your business. Next time you go to one, you can run an advert within maybe like 3 miles of the event, and you're going to capture all those people on their phones at lunch or in the evening in their hotel rooms. They're looking at LinkedIn, and your adverts running around that event that you've spent money to attend. So location's a great tool there. The next cool thing is in the demographics section here, at the end of that arrow, it says company names. Excuse me. In here, you can type the name of any company that has a LinkedIn business page, and then your advert will show to its employees. Really, really useful. Then you could combine that with another filter, such as the seniority of that staff member. And hey presto, you have an advert being shown to just the decision makers in your list of target companies. Really, really useful. Great for B2B. And here's an example of what that looked like. I recently used this to send adverts to all of the staff of businesses who were members of a certain trade association, because I knew that anyone in that industry would be interested in the podcast that I was promoting about that industry. And this is the kind of audience you'd want to save, by the way, because it took quite a while to build. Lots and lots of company names there if you couldn't see that. Finally, and most importantly, on this page, you can advertise to your own followers. And this is important. This is where we're talking about beating the algorithm. We know that the LinkedIn algorithm hides your posts unless they get loads of engagements. But for something like 15 or 20 quid, you can throw the floodgates open and show your post to all of your followers. You do this by clicking on company, then company follower of, and you're going to come through to this page and you click the only option, which will be your business. That's the only one you're allowed to do this with. As a side note there, you have to have built your page up to about 400 followers before you can do this. Otherwise, it's going to tell you your audience is too small. But to get around this, just add in another layer of demographics. So I might tick marketing 101 and then also plus staff from my 30 customers using the business method that I just showed you. So that's the demographic, the targeting, cool stuff. But the final and the main reason to use advertising on LinkedIn and not boosting is that when you boost, you put all of your money behind a single post. When you run an advert, you can have multiple posts and then you let LinkedIn figure out which one is working best. Generally speaking, I would deliver the same message with 4 to 6 kind of variations. You could do 4 to 6 completely different posts, but I like to do the same message, selling the same thing, but with a few variations. Maybe try a different image, or try a different headline, try a different button. So register or sign up, maybe use some emojis in one. What you're looking at on the right, no need to zoom in, is the first of about 14 variations I built for the recruitment campaign for the estate agency I mentioned. They're all very subtle differences in each post. We call this digital alchemy, a lovely phrase. What happens is LinkedIn pushed out all 14 of those adverts to a sample audience on the first day. It learned about which ones performed best. And then for the rest of the 3 weeks campaign, it weighted my budget for me. It weighted it to the posts, the adverts, which I had made, which was performing the best, the most clicks, the most engagements, the most likes. That way you're getting the LinkedIn brain to do your advertising for you, and you'll get way better results than you would with just a single post boost. So there you have it. Advertise, don't boost. It works fantastically. Hope they found that useful, or at the very least interesting. If you'd like to discuss LinkedIn further, please reach out on either of these websites. Back to the room for any questions.
Brilliant.
Got one question for you. You don't come down here because otherwise you won't hear the question.
I have a question.
You can repeat the question. It's a long question. I can repeat the question if you want. What's the question? You said 15 or 20 pounds. You said 15 or 20 pounds. What was the duration? If I put 15 how much time is he going to get for 15 nigger?
Yeah, I got that, Steve. So
he will spend more than 15 quid. Did you read the question?
Yeah, so basically the minimum spend on LinkedIn is £8 a day approximately. So 15 to 20, 24 quid. You're adding on a little bit every single day. You can spend as much as you want, but if you've got like 500 to 1,000 followers on your Facebook page, on your LinkedIn page, you're going to reach those with 15 to 20 quid, I reckon. A good click-through rate or cost per click is about £1 on LinkedIn. It's a lot more expensive than Facebook, but you're getting to business people who are looking to do business rather than just any old Tom, Dick and Harry. So £1 per click is what you're going to pay.
That's no Tom, Dick and Harry. Thank you, Alex. You answered the question. It's the first, isn't it? And thank you very much. He is in New York, by the way. I don't know if you know that. He's in New York this morning, Alex. So, bonjour, New York. That's why there is a little delay. Thank you, Alex. Thank you very much. Again, you made this look so much better than what it really is. You are good, mate. You are very, very good. It's very, all the information is fantastic. If you want to find it, QR code there, if you want the links there, and you can speak to him personally and have a good chat, because he does know what he's talking about, more than what the rest of us do.